Section 3 of the Backbone Trail from Mishe Mokwa to Encinal Canyon. It's an 11-mile hike, and you're not going to see many people on this because it's one of those sections where there's no definable destination. It's just for the joy of walking with views to the ocean and the mountains. That's enough.
The hike starts at this remote parking lot off Yerba Buena Road. Directions to it and where to leave a shuttle car at the end are in the description. We take the marked trail to the north as it heads downhill. Soon, the usually wide path gently climbs out of the canyon on a ridgeline where the highest point is Mount Triunfo, Spanish for victory. We don't quite hit the 2,652-foot summit, but we will ascend to near it. The views from here reach back to where we were on the previous Backbone section. That's the bony mountain ridge and sandstone peak behind me.
Unlike the sometimes bizarre sandstone outcroppings we're going to be coming across later on the trail, the rock around here is volcanic. Yeah, there were volcanoes here once. Now, about 24 million years ago, before the mountains were here, what's known as the Farallon Plate, deep in the ocean, started pushing underneath the North American Plate. That's a process known as subduction. The land began to uplift, volcanoes formed, and began erupting. Now, over many, many years, the Santa Monica Mountains grew to many times higher than they are now today. Now, what we have around here are the leftovers after erosion whittled down the mountains and left us with this exposed lava.
The trail comes to a flat spot on the ridge's shoulder at more than 2,400 feet and curves to the opposite side. From here, we traverse Mount Triunfo's south-facing slopes with little elevation gain or loss. One perk of this route is the non-stop views to the ocean and a few easy-to-envy homes in the lower canyons.
Almost fell on my butt.
After about 4.5 miles total hiking, we easily descend to Yerba Buena Road.
Oh, by the way, we are now leaving Ventura County and entering Los Angeles County. Out here, it seems like an arbitrary distinction. At any rate, we'll be walking through Los Angeles County for the rest of the Backbone Trail.
After crossing the road, the trail immediately starts up. This warning sign applies to a few rocky, steep sections that might feel a little sketchy to some. In a few minutes, the rugged single track ends at this junction with the Encinal motorway, where we turn to the right.
Couldn't get a lot of information about Encinal. All I know is that he was an early homesteader who owned the land here when the motorway was built in the 1920s to connect Yerba Buena Road to Mulholland Highway. More recently, the people who owned this land blocked access to it for hikers and bikers, thus slowing down the completion of the Backbone Trail. But after 2 years of discussion, the National Park Service and California State Parks bought the land in chunks in 2008. Access ensured.
More views as we walk along the ridge with Westlake Village off to the north and, of course, the ocean to the south. As has been the case for most of the hike, there is no appreciable shade along here, and even on this March morning, the sun is already baking us. After a few ups and downs, the road ends at this junction. We swing to the right and continue descending 600 feet in 2.5 miles through this lovely canyon with its untouched slopes of chaparral, scrub oak, and monkey flower. It feels nearly pristine and wild. Well, there are a few exceptions to that. Permit me a moment to reflect on this, shall we say, outstanding house. A few years ago, my wife and I wanted to build a home using insulated concrete forms, or ICFs, for the outside walls instead of wood. ICF houses are nearly fireproof, and in Southern California, that means a lot. I learned how to build with ICFs by getting a construction job on this house near the Backbone Trail, and then transferred that knowledge to our own home. We did about 80% of the work ourselves. Not so bad for a journalist and dental hygienist. As for the house I helped build, it was surrounded by flames and embers during the 2018 Woolsey fire, and survived. Many of the neighboring homes built of wood burned.
At the bottom of that rather long descent, we come to Mulholland Highway, which we cross. From here, we have a rather pleasant 1-mile walk to the parking lot.
We traverse above a small canyon, descend for a few minutes, and arrive at the Encinal Canyon parking lot.
That was a good hike.